Today on New England Living, we'll visit a Cambridge home with a unique connection to the outdoors. And we'll check out a luxurious modern home serving a simpler, healthier lifestyle. Plus, executive chef Carl Dooley grills up one of his ultimate summertime favorites. It all starts right now on New England Living. New England is full of adventure. I can't believe you guys are letting me do this. Up and away.
Look at that. Oh, you just did your first takeoff.
Join me as we discover the people and places that make us so unique.
This is it. You can't find it anywhere else in North America.
I mean, does it get any better than this? Love the place you call home with New England Living. Thanks for joining us today on New England Living. I'm your host, Rachel Holt. First up, how to harness the power of daylight with interior designer Abby Flores. In an urban setting like the one we're in, it's all about maximizing space. What are some ways that you were able to achieve that here?
The design, the architecture of the house was fantastic in terms of how it really opened up and took what was originally a pretty small footprint and added so much to the house. The homeowners were very interested in being true to the historic neighborhood that they're in and being true to the vintage of the house. So as you come in the front door, you get this really interesting balance of simplicity and beauty with the staircase. And then when you get to the living room, it's this explosion of texture and color and pattern. Once you get up into the primary suite, it's really interesting because part of the addition on the back of the house gave this big tall vaulted ceiling and these big open windows. And when you're in that space, even though you're surrounded by other homes not that far away, it's completely private. There's a huge tree in the background and you just look up at it. It's really an interesting way to realize that even in an urban setting and even with big open windows, you can still have privacy.
In this kitchen specifically, it's so light, it's so airy in here. How are the windows and doors playing into the decisions that you made as a designer?
The specification was done by the architect, but what is wonderful from my perspective is how open this space can be. When you pull these doors all the way open, you really are expanding out into the outside. It's almost like the outdoors is just an extension of the space. I love how it came out in terms of that balance between layered and collected and still modern and minimal, and I think it's really successful.
Another key member of the design team was architect Tom Murdo. Tom, as the architect, what was your vision for this house?
It's a small house, it's on a tight urban lot, so we wanted to add some space. In addition to that, add some light and bring in some of the exterior to the interior, which makes the building feel larger. We also are in a historic context, so the building's over 100 years old, and we wanted to make sure that the front of the building was historically appropriate and that on the backside, it could be informal and open to the landscape where the clients could enjoy the outdoors.
Given that we are in an urban setting, how are you able to help bring the outdoors indoors?
So the Marvin lift and slide is a great example of one of the strategies we use to do that. It's floor to ceiling, it's a wide panel door and a fixed light next to it. And so that expansive opening allows visibility to the outside. The sun can come in, there's plenty of sunlight. The lift and slide can remain open. Passage is not an issue. It makes for really great informal living.
What's the importance of working with the right partners on a project like this?
Well, especially with windows, the Marvin product line offers a lot of versatility and flexibility in terms of meeting the different goals that this project had, from the historic front side of the building to the more open and sort of informal and more modern back side of the building. We were able to select windows that are unique sizes, custom sizes, because the old window openings don't always fit a standard size window.
And when it comes to windows, working with the right partners is essential, says builder Nathan McBride.
The hardware, the fit and finish, and the general set of options that's available with Marvin is still above and beyond what's available from other manufacturers. For example, here we're standing in a room with a lift and slide door in it. It's complicated to make, it's complicated to install, there's a lot of moving parts to it, but to actually bring it into the project, get it sized and ordered and spec'd and everything is really straightforward. And then when it arrives, we know that it's going to be up to the standard of the rest of the Marvins in the house.
What does a door like that add to this room in terms of bringing light in and bringing the outdoors in?
Well, one of the things that's cool about these is that when they're open, they're almost not there. So it pushes out of the way and it's wide open to the elements. And that's pretty unique to these type of doors. I like the fact that, when they designed the space and conceived it, Tom and Abby, the architect and the designer, came up with really like a sort of a separate enclave in the house. When it's open to the back, it feels like you're in a cabin somewhere, with neighbors around you, but it doesn't feel like you're in the rest of the home almost in a way. It feels separate and like it's got its own character. I really appreciate that, and I think having that direct connection of letting the door just slide out of the way is a big part of that.
With each of those openings that we create in the building, or the ones that had existed, allows us to orient towards the sun and allow sunlight to fill the space. The house in some ways registers the passage of the sun throughout the day. It's almost registering time.
There's lots of different nooks throughout this house that are set up to be enjoyed at different times of the day based on where the light is coming in. I love the powder room. It's a fun area of pop. We picked a great wallpaper and used a high gloss paint. It's such a fun place to have a little freedom and let something be like a little jewel box for a house. One thing that we did in the living room was added a fabric valance at the top. It's actually just a detail. There is kind of a sheer or window treatment that goes under it so that they do have privacy in the front of the house. But it's a way to add a little bit of decor and detail to the windows while still keeping them as open as possible.
What are some trends that you're noticing lately, especially when it comes to urban living?
Creating comfortable seating, living areas that can be right outside your door. And when you have big open windows, it is also expanding the footprint of your house. Being out in the fresh air is so important for all of us, and so the more you can enjoy that, the better.
Coming up after the break, we'll check out a newly constructed home designed for the modern lifestyle. When New England Living returns after this. Welcome back to New England Living. I'm Rachel Holt. Up next, we're heading to Weston to learn the latest trends in contemporary suburban living with real estate agent Melissa Daly. As far as new construction goes, it doesn't get any newer than this. This is a brand new build. Tell us the story behind this project.
This is a 9,000 square foot house. It's modern, it's absolutely beautiful. It's located in Weston, so we're just 20 minutes from Boston. It's in the gorgeous Weston Golf Club neighborhood. Because it's modern, it's filled with windows. The builder really wanted a house that when people came home from work, they just felt good in it. It's simple, it's clean, the scenery outside is beautiful. We've got rock formations. We're enveloped by trees. It's just meant to be a true refuge when you get home from a busy day or even on the weekends to just enjoy yourself.
New England is known for traditional architecture. Why the decision here to go modern?
New England really has so many traditional homes, and the builder here had a vision of a modern home. He wanted huge windows, he wanted it to be filled with sunlight, and so many New Englanders are just so used to traditional that when they come and visit this house, they fall in love with the simplicity, the light. They love that the indoors and outdoors have a great symmetry. It brings the outdoors in. The builder really thought about how the house sits on the land, and he really thought about the sunlight, and he thought about the views out each window. So when this house was designed with the architect, every single window has a special view. Whether you're in the kitchen, you want to look out at the pool, or there's a beautiful rock formation. One bedroom looks at the rock formation, another one looks at the pool, another bedroom looks at a green roof upstairs, where over the garage we have 75 plantings and it's all irrigated, so you're going to have this beautiful, beautiful roof that is going to be green.
What are we seeing with all the outdoor spaces here? Because there seems to be a good amount of them.
There are. We have 2 decks. One happens to be off of the family room for entertaining. Another deck is upstairs off the main bedroom. What's really beautiful about that is just the way this landscape is. We have a huge rock formation, and the way the deck is set up, you can view the pool and the rock formation.
When it comes to the design inside the house, it's simple, it's understated. Is this a trend that you're noticing?
Absolutely. It's really meant to feel just very light and airy in here. We have light floors, we have white walls, which is a huge trend. If you notice when you walk through the house, the thermostats, there are none. We have small little dots on the walls. The kitchen does not have hardware. It's also set up for working together in the kitchen. We're seeing double sinks, double dishwashers. A modern house doesn't like to show the appliances. So we have garages here that you open them and you hide your smoothie maker, you hide your toaster. We have a hidden pantry. So we're seeing a modern house which is very sleek, but yet still functional and people working together in the kitchen for entertaining.
What are some of those small touches that can really pull a home together?
Well, we're definitely seeing lighter floors, we're seeing lighter walls, colors with the whites. With the windows, it's letting all the sunlight in, and I really feel like our buyer today wants less and they want their lifestyles to be more simple. And so I think these things just really lend itself to a healthy, simple lifestyle.
When it comes to allocating the different rooms and spaces in houses lately, what are you noticing?
We're definitely knowing people wanting that open space, but we're seeing the formal spaces definitely shrink down in size. We're seeing the dining rooms are being made smaller. They still want to be able to entertain, but they're also really wanting those private spaces. A home office is a definite must right now. So it's just a place where you can make your calls and shut the door and have some privacy. We're finding people want a craft room or people want a yoga room. So we're definitely wanting the open, but certainly the dedicated space is very important.
What are some of those luxury amenities that you're seeing these days?
So this house is filled with those. We have a gated driveway. We have a heated driveway, so come winter, there's no plowing, and even the steps as you leave the house are also heated. Everything is run off of your phone. It's a Savant system, so you can run the shades of the house, the pool cover can open and close. You can turn your heat on and off. You can turn the pool heater on and off.
How are people being more thoughtful about what's ahead long term?
So a lot of these new constructions, we're going to see builders put in elevators or even the elevator shaft or a channel where they'll build closets, stacked closets, so that in the future, if they have to put an elevator in, it's already set up for one. If you have an elevator, people are really thinking about the future, and if they buy a house, if they're thinking long term, it's definitely an age in place house where stairs don't matter because you have the elevator. It's also super helpful if you have family members who are older and can't do stairs. We don't have to worry about having a bedroom on the first floor because we have the elevator. This house, everything is so different than what we're used to that this is a pleasure to show. Between the gated driveway, coming up to the heated driveway, the amount of windows, and you don't realize the size of these windows until you're actually inside the house. But I've never seen so many big windows, and I've never seen a house that lets the outdoors in as much as this one does. The combination of the simplicity with the whole Savant system and the technology here, it really stands out. It's a one of a kind.
Coming up next, Chef Carl Dooley fires up the grill for his take on al pastor skewers when New England Living returns after this. Cambridge native and celebrity chef Carl Dooley is renowned for his take on fresh local ingredients with an international flair. A former Top Chef contestant, Eater Boston Chef of the Year, and James Beard Award semifinalist, he's now the head chef at Mooncusser in Boston's Back Bay, where his use of bold flavors, vibrant spices, and cross-cultural techniques are earning him national attention. We are here at the Clark Sub-Zero and Wolf showroom. I am joined by Chef Carl Dooley. Carl, we have a beautiful summer day. The sun's out, the grill's going. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, it really doesn't get any better than this. This is perfect. We are chilling and grilling, literally.
I like that a lot. Well, what are we making here today?
So today we have some pork al pastor skewers. So this is one of my favorite things to cook in the summer. It's fast, it's easy, and most importantly, it's super flavorful.
You are known for your bold flavors, and I see a lot of spices here. What goes into this marinade?
So this is an awesome spice rub that we're gonna use today on the pork, but you could use anything all summer long. So there's allspice, black pepper, coriander, chilies, cumin, all of my favorite things. So I think you can go ahead and start adding these into the mortar and pestle here, start grinding away, and I'm gonna go ahead and slice the pork.
You're gonna put me to work, and while I'm doing this, tell me what goes into the selection of each piece of meat.
So this is some local pork here. So this is from Walden Local Meats. I love pork shoulder. It's one of my favorite things to grill. It is super high in fat content, which keeps it super juicy on the grill. You can slice it thin, it has tons of flavor, and it works for the skewers as well as really anything else on the grill.
You're at the newly reopened Mooncusser. What can people expect when they visit your restaurant?
So at Mooncusser, we offer a 6-course prix-fixe menu featuring awesome local ingredients and fun, bold flavors from around the world.
Given that you are a Cambridge native, what are you paying attention to when it comes to the seasons and those New England ingredients?
So right now, it's summertime, this is the best time to cook in New England. We have all of our local farms, we have tomatoes and peppers and beautiful herbs, and as well as trying to showcase a lot of local fish and local meats.
Obviously in New England, we have to take advantage of nice weather days like this as much as possible and be outside when we can. And what I love about this dish is we're using skewers, so it makes it a little better for hosting and having parties. It makes it a little more fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Skewers are my go-to for entertaining. You get them all done, throw them on the grill, everyone gets to eat with your hands, total win all around.
All right, so what's the next step?
So we have our sliced pork. We have this awesome spice blend that you ground up. You really crushed it.
It's looking pretty good. I see what you did there.
So we got some salt here, some kosher salt. We're gonna do some of this beautiful spice mix. You can already smell it, it smells great. And then we're gonna add a little bit of canola oil. That's just gonna help it caramelize on the grill. And then a little bit of your favorite hot sauce. So you definitely want that spice in there. Plus the little bit of acidity in these hot sauces will also help give it like a nice balance at the end.
So this looks like it's gonna have a little bit of a kick to it and a little spice, and the pineapple should balance that really well.
Yeah, exactly, pork and pineapple, it's classic here. So it's spicy, it's sweet, it's gonna be charred up on the grill. It's gonna be awesome.
What are some tips that you have for us when it comes to skewering?
I think it's really important to make sure all of the vegetables or fruit or meat or something are the correct size. If your pork's sliced thin, then you want to have your pineapple sliced kind of thin, so it all kind of cooks correctly at the same time. I always like to go a little bit thinner so you can cook on high heat, get that nice caramelization, but also make sure that it's cooked through.
And I see the combination we're doing: 1 pineapple, 2 meat.
1 pineapple, 2 meat.
This was all really quick, but my guess is that this is something that can be prepped beforehand. So if you have a party, you have people over, you spend less time in the kitchen.
Yeah, totally. This is something that you can do, the morning of or the night before. And I mean, that's what I do. I want to have everything ready so when my friends come over, I can hang out, throw them on the grill, and just totally look like a rock star chef.
More party time, right?
More party time.
Can't argue with that.
All right, so these are ready to go on. We got our grill nice and hot here.
It is nice and toasty. And once they're on the grill, what are some tips that you have for us to get the perfect cook on these?
So I say you want to start with a really hot, clean grill. That way you're going to get caramelization. It's not going to stick. You want it to kind of cook quickly. And you can see here we have some really good char on both the pineapple and the pork. This is totally what we're looking for.
And it's smelling so good.
Yeah, I think these guys are looking pretty good. You want to pass me that plate and we'll get these puppies off?
They're looking pretty perfect to me. Fresh off the grill, these look amazing. While they cool down, and because we are in party mode here, we do have a wine to go along with this. This is the Etude Chardonnay. It's from the cool Carneros region of Sonoma Valley. How will this pair with the dish?
Well, this would be great. It's always great pairing these like really fresh, juicy white wines with like the charred meat and the pineapple. It's gonna pick up on some of those sweetness notes, get a little bit of acid in there. Perfect for a hot day.
And what I really love about this winery is they are focused on sustainability. They're 100% carbon neutral.
That's super cool. We need more of that.
All right, is it time?
I think it's time.
Let's dig in. Fresh squeeze of lime, and then we're good to go, right? And I love how the pineapple and the meat pair so well together. You get a little bit of spicy, a little bit of sweet. It's the perfect combination.
Yeah, I love it. This is a great day.
For more delicious food like this, make sure you check out Mooncusser, and for more cooking segments, head to our website, newenglandliving.tv. Thanks for all the hard work. This was delicious. Cheers to you. Cheers. Welcome back to the show. It's time now to go around New England with your New England Chevy dealer. We're in Plymouth, Vermont, right off of Route 100 to spotlight one of the Green Mountain State's most beloved products, cheese. The Plymouth Cheese Factory has been a fixture in the town since 1890 and was actually started by President Calvin Coolidge's family. The factory closed during the Great Depression but reopened in the 1960s. The Plymouth Cheese Company is now owned by cheesemaker Jesse Werner, with the goal of reviving the brand and paying tribute to tradition. The company still uses the original cheddar recipe to this day, and it's still packaged in wax the same way it has been since the beginning. For cheese and history enthusiasts alike, the Cheese Factory store is open daily from May to October for visitors to come shop and watch the process. Thanks for joining us today on New England Living. For more in the show or anything you've seen here today, visit us at newenglandliving.tv and follow us on social media. I'm Rachel Holt. See you next time on New England Living.